Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Got a little bit of news today, so we'll see on how far we can get into it. So, for whatever reason, we seem to have, the Biden administration doing dictatorships type stuff again, as always. Never trying to cease to amaze us on their insanity and their craziness. And also the Twitter files also dropped last night. So, then we were able to get around to that. But we're probably going to be dropping that as soon as well because, Twitter files. But it seems that Tucker Carlson was essentially censored along with the collusion with Facebook. And getting real tired of the Biden administration being his dictatorship. As I said 2 years ago when he got elected. Of course, there was a crazy individual that thought I was wrong. Well, of course, they're usually always wrong because they can't think for themselves. I've also come to the conclusion anybody that agrees or thinks on the far left has zero critical thinking skills because they have no ability to think outside of the box or not do as they're told and want to cater to the government because they think they're all great, powerful things that they are. It's the government. Never trust them. Never ever trust them. They're a parasite to both you, me, and humanity. So, it goes on to say, we were censored by the White House. Tucker Carlson slams Biden administration after lawsuit reveals it pressured Facebook to censor him, talking about vaccines. Oh my, oh my, oh my. And yes, YouTube, this is not me trying to verify how vaccines are, etc., your whole stupid vaccine shill, alright? This is me going over what the Biden administration did to, one of our people. Tucker Carlson slammed the Biden administration on his show Monday after court documents revealed it directly pressured Facebook to censor his show. Court documents released as a part of a lawsuit against the Biden administration for allegedly colluding with social media executives to suppress stories revealed that the White House Director of Digital Strategy emailed Facebook monitors about a video in which Carlson debated the efficacy of the COVID vaccines. He publicly questioned at the time why vaccinated people could not return to normal life, leading Chelsea Clinton to publicly call on Facebook to take the video down. The director, Rob Flattery, also pressured Facebook to reduce the availability of the story as it worked to tamp down on what it deemed to be misinformation about the vaccine. Carlson said on his show Monday night, Carlson and his guest, Louisiana Attorney Jeff Laundrie, say the move directly violated Carlson's First Amendment rights. 100% agreed. It doesn't seem like a lot of the Biden administration really cares about your First Amendment rights at all. In fact, they would be willfully to ignore them entirely, breaking the First Amendment, which is, maybe something that should be levied against the Biden administration for being a dictator, because that's the first step of becoming a dictator, right? I said that they were coming after our rights, and I was not wrong in this at all. It comes just weeks after it was revealed by the government, pressured Twitter executives to censor any COVID information that was true but inconvenient. On this Monday, Carlson shared excerpts of court documents showing Flaherty emailed Facebook in April 2021 saying the top post on Facebook about vaccines today is Tucker Carlson saying they don't work. He then allegedly went on to pressure the social media giant to follow a strategy of reduction. A reduction means pumping our most vaccine-hesitant audience with Tucker Carlson saying it doesn't work, then I'm not sure it's reduction, Flaherty wrote in the email. Well, as we have went over in the last video of on how the vaccines were technically done or what we have questions about, normally when I think when people want to hide something or doesn't want, the vaccine company to be liable for deaths or what have you, or anything that remains to be, maybe question the vaccine or question anything at all and you want to hide it, it tends to be kind of sketch, Normally things you just want to, like, all the transparency to be out and open, to be questioned, and if you think your actual product or what have you is safe and all that, then you would have zero problem letting people know about it, right? Because normally in that case, that just means that your product is safe, you have nothing to hide, and the only things that would be happening may be a very small number. But apparently, they're going to the very great efforts to censor people, including one of the biggest conservative people probably on the planet right now, which is Tucker Carlson, to censor him, questioning the vaccine. No. That's something that everybody should be alarmed of. A Facebook employee later responded that he agreed and was running this down now. The move was apparently part of the White House efforts to tamp down on what it deemed to be misinformation about the vaccine. Journalist David Zweig recently revealed how the Biden administration also emailed Twitter executives to censor any information that did not support its messaging about that the COVID vaccine was necessary, even when experts cited the administration's own data. It was never really a secret that there were huge problems with the COVID shots. Carlson began his show pointing to the Biden administration's own database that indicated a large number of risks associated with the jab. We tried pointing out more than a year ago, not because we have a problem with the vaccine or anti-vaxxers, but because if we're going to force people to take something, you probably ought to know what it is and what effects it might have. Yeah, 100% exactly. And the thing is that we don't know what was in the vaccine or what the effects that may have, because a lot of the CDC, which by the way, was hiding that type of information out to people, and even were blocking reporters from wanting or scientific data on what the vaccine could have done, etc., etc. So this is very questionable. Here's the big things that we have to realize, guys. The government was telling you to take the vaccine, so that's already very questionable thing, number one. And then two, the company that was giving out the vaccine was now going to be held liable for deaths that would possibly occur. Those are two major things, guys, that should probably raise an eyebrow or two. Right? That should probably make you question and critically think, what are they hiding? We tried to pointing it out more than a year ago, not because we have a problem with okay, we're going to run through that. Carlson then turned the conversation over to his guest, Jeff Laundrie, who, along with Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt, filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration. Laundrie said that in the reading of the court documents, he felt that the White House demanded Carlson's video be taken down. As he told Carlson, it's certainly a violation of your First Amendment rights. Tucker. It goes on with Chelsea Clinton saying in December, Facebook banned claims about COVID-19 vaccines that have been debunked by public health experts. And yet, especially troubling, given Republican men are currently most likely to say they're not interested in being vaccinated. That's a problem, don't you think? The suit accused the Biden administration of working hand-in-hand with social media giants to censor news, stories that reflected negatively on the White House. Throughout this case, we have uncovered a disturbing amount of collusion between big tech and big government, Laundrie said in a statement when the suit was filed in October. This egregious attack on our First Amendment will be met with an equally full-hearted defense of the rights of the American people. Among the topics they accused the White House of censoring were stories about COVID-19 and more recently, White House officials' insistence that the U.S. economy is not careening toward a downturn. Social media platforms are beginning to censor criticisms of the Biden administration's attempt to redefine the world recession in light of a recent news that the U.S. economy has suffered 2 consecutive quarters of reduction in GDP, the suit claims. It points to a Fox News article about Facebook fact-checking and a economist who claimed the U.S. was in a recession. Okay, so that doesn't really mean too much here. We all know that the Biden administration came out and wanted to redefine what recession was. They would not make sure that we were not in a recession. Well, if we're not in a recession now, if we're not in a recession before, we're sure as hell in a recession now, without a bloody doubt. So, that's mostly the case here. So, what we're seeing here is that the administration doesn't seem to be doing a very good job of, maybe protecting the First Amendment rights, outright greatly going over it. Most likely want to go after the Second Amendment rights, which will probably be the next thing they will probably go for. So we also have that. Of course, they're using a lot of the validations for many of the things that have been happening to maybe confirm or allow the Second Amendment to be attacked, and then the next one be, First Amendment. They'll attack the easier one first, which would be the Second Amendment, and then they'll probably go after the first. But right now, they're going after the First Amendment, but in a more sneakily way. They have to attack the First Amendment by, hiding it from people. Whereas the Second Amendment, they can be more broad about it, which they have been doing as well. The dictatorship is here, guys. We all knew this, that Biden was going to be a dictator and he was going to be a horrible president. And he's shown that he's been a horrible president, along with the entire administration. Now, whoever we're going to elect for our presidential run is up to be in there, and I don't know if I have very much confidence in what the Republicans are going to put up for the actual potential of candidacy for our choice. Hopefully we have Ron DeSantis, because at this moment, he's really our only hope. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.